Well, here it is. I took a ½ inch out of the height this way, and I do like it a lot better. It doesn't look as fat. You can see it's not kind of lined up here because everything's just sort of setting in place. I also added this piece of PVC tube just to kind of get an idea how it's going to transition to the body from the cockpit. Very much like the Falcon, I guess. This piece here, I cut this piece at an angle to match this side because it angles in. And now I wish I wouldn't have done it. So I'm going to straighten this back out again the way it was originally. So, yeah. I also added these things here. I had some plexiglass ones that were like 1/8 of an inch. And I needed something heavier. So I pulled those all out and added this 1/4 inch pieces. Besides, they weren't long enough and too many different problems that I was having with it. And it doesn't take a piece of ½ inch pipe in there anymore because it's too shallow now, but it will take a piece of 3/4 inch pipe, which should be more than sufficient to support that thing inside. So yeah, let's hope everybody likes it. Well, here it is so far, just sort of set together, roughed out. Even the detail, that's not the detail I'm going to use. Some of it I will like that, and I haven't decided to use that as the escape pod or not yet. A lot of the scribe lines will be much larger. The size of the scribes makes this out to be a bigger ship than it is. You know, the more scribes it has, the smaller plating gives the effect of a larger ship, which it is not, because you can tell by the cockpit. This is 1/72nd scale. And this model is somewhere around, it looks like about 30 inches long. You know, there are some things that I'm going to change automatically, you know, after putting this together, is the thickness here bothers me. It looks too thick. So I want to slim it down a bit, you know, probably like a good ½ inch to bring it down thinner. So gives it a more sleek look to it. So that's something I'm going to do. Here, the space bothers me a little bit. Now I know there's going to be a dish in here. I know traditionally the dish is up here, but I don't want the dish up here. And I want it in between here like so. I just think in the long run it's going to look better having a dish in between there. And also will help with the gap in here. Perhaps this thing here I'm going to make a little wider, you know, outwards. And I could probably do that with just details by putting the detail up more. Move this in a little bit, like so. Carry this over, because I want this side here to have the roundness like this. So the whole thing will be rounded over, so I'll cut this down a bit. But yeah, I just think it's too tall and chubby. It's not used to the word. Hey, you got a chubby. So those are the changes I'm going to make. Like I said, I just kind of threw it together and glued up the bulkheads. The kit's going to be 2 sections when I mold it. If I mold it, depending on if people like it enough to want to buy one. Be a top and bottom section here. And then you got this section here, which is a top and bottom. The detail strips will set into place in there. Separate molds, as well as here. You know, there'll be pieces that fit on here. So there won't be much, like, again, I hate seams. So I do everything I can to change that. So you don't have that many seams you have to sand. And it's hard to tell really with the back end what's going to look like this. But there'll be 2 engines here, left and right, you know. Details in these holes, which is very traditional for Star Wars. Here I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. I'll figure it out though, I always do. Obviously some detail. This will also be on the bottom as well, because remember the ship flies sideways. So everything will be symmetrical on this model. And there it is in pieces.